What's up, guys? Welcome to Bro Beats. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make some lo-fi chords from scratch, and we can just go ahead and get started. This video will be the first part of a two-part series, so make sure you subscribe so you can see the other part if you aren't subscribed already. So we can just go ahead and get started. So my BPM is 95 because lo-fi is more of a slow type of sound, so I just want something slow. And then we can just go ahead and pick like a scale. We could do maybe like a C minor or something. It's a common scale that people use, so I'm gonna mark that. All right. So the first thing that people do when they make a chord or something, right? They come in here and they do something like this, right? And they just move it. All right. But that's basic. The first thing that you actually want to do is get you a bass line going, okay? Because that's gonna give you everything that all the information that you need to make the melody, the chords, everything. So let's start on our root note, C. And then all we're gonna do is just kind of click. I want to go downward because I want this to go like have a sad tone to it. So usually in music, when you like go down, it gives you a sad tone usually. So that's what I'm gonna do. So we can click maybe like one of these. Then maybe we can go up. All right, so now you should have your bass line. So after your bass line, we're gonna do the first part. So we're gonna do this in 4 parts: first, second, third, fourth. All right, and then it's gonna get more complex as we go. So from here, what I would do is just do something like this, and this will sound good. I'm just for sure it will. So now that's basic though. That's like what everybody would do. So if you want to do something different and keep it kind of jazzy, what you could do is add another note here, and I would invert it actually. So you can highlight that note, control down, invert it. And I don't want these two notes next to each other, so I would delete this C, and you don't need it because you already have that here. And this gives you a different tone when you invert it. Again, this is lo-fi. We want to keep it kind of sad, right? So we're done with this one. So only thing we did here was we did an inversion here, and we just deleted a note. So for this one, we don't got to do too much. Let's just add notes. So we can copy this up an octave and just go all the way to the top. We don't have to overcomplicate things, and if you like the way it sounds, keep it, and if not, you could do some of the things you learned. So okay, so we can keep that, and I want to see what this sounds like without that. Okay, so we don't need that note, so I'm gonna just leave this how it is. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So let's go to the second half. Now this half, I want to make it a little bit more complicated because I don't want this to be, I want you to actually learn something from this. So what we're gonna do is the same thing here. So we can go to G sharp all the way up. Now, one thing I want to explain is the higher you go in this chord, so like starting from the middle, these notes will dramatically change the tone of your chord. You could change one note and it'll sound like a completely different chord if you just change this top note. So I'll show you. And it kind of sounds like you change the chords like from here to here or something, right? But the lower you go, it's a smaller difference in the tone, right? So that's why I recommend changing the bottom note. So for this one, what we could do is pick any one of these notes close to this G sharp to change the tone. Okay, and then we could work backwards. So let's try this one. Okay, so I like the transition between these two. So I'm gonna keep that A sharp. If you like any other note, make sure you choose that note. All right. So now we have this whole thing, right? So now what we're gonna do is work backward. So the A sharp, you could just do something like this, right? Usually, but we're gonna do a reverse chord. So we go from here on down, and this is just showing you how people get these type of like chords, right? And then they still have notes like in between, and you're probably like, how did they, how did they put that there? So let's work backwards to find like a note that we want to put in the middle. So let's go here, skip that note, and then skip that note. You can see we end up back here. So everything is in unison pretty much. So you can pick any note here. I'm gonna just pick maybe this middle one because we tried that G, but we moved it to A sharp. So we can just try this one. Okay, so I like that. I'm gonna keep it. So that was a little bit more complex. It's kind of like 2 parts to this, but that's just something else that you can do. Or if you end up with something like this, you can just count up, skip every note from here as well. All right, so now we're on this part. And on this part, I want to do something a little different going in. So what we can do is take these top notes and pull them up 1. And what this is going to do is kind of change the tone. All right. And make it seem like it's like going higher, which it is, but it's not that big of a difference. It's literally just 1 note difference. So for this one, we're going to try to borrow a note from a different scale or borrow a chord from a different scale or something, right? So I think the easiest way to think about this is to go into like a whole tone mode. And the whole tone is just, instead of, you see how this is right next to each other? Those are like half tones, right? Whole tone would just be literally this. All right, just 1 space between each note. So what we can do to find that note that we need is literally start on our lowest note, okay? And just skip every other one. All right, and this whole tone scale is associated with like jazz anyway, so it fits perfectly with what we're trying to do. So all you have to do now is trial and error. You're gonna have to do a little work. Not every trick is gonna work right away. So you can just choose any note here, pull it in and see if you like it. Let's try that C. I'm getting started. Nope. Let's try this B. And there you have it. You found the note that you wanted. So now we have us a jazzy chord. All right, so now I'm gonna be showing you the effects to put on here to make it sound like a lo-fi piano, and I'm gonna just put this twice so it plays out. So I'm gonna be using the RC20. There's other stuff, you got like good hertz and stuff you can use, but this is my favorite one to use. And I use the VHS one, and usually I just put on vinyl or something, and I'll turn that wobble up just a little bit to kind of sell the effect. You can add a little space if you want. You can take a picture of this if you want or whatever, but it should sound something like this now. All right, so that's gonna be the first part of this video. I will be releasing the second part when we make the melodies and stuff and the beat right after this one. So make sure you stay tuned and make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.